All right, guys, how you doing? This is the second installment of Freethinkers Mind. Today we have Dr. Shur. Thank you for joining us. Today, just want to interview on some questions, ask you something that's really going to pick at your brain. The first question is, what inspired your dream?
Well, I have to go pretty far back. When I was about 8 years old, I remember my parents asked me what I wanted to be, you know, the typical question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I remember saying that I wanted to be a zookeeper.
Okay.
I wanted to watch monkeys. And so probably, I don't know, just a short time after that, my mom gave me a book called In the Shadow of Man, which was one of Jane Goodall's first books.
Okay.
And Jane Goodall is sort of the founder of the field of primatology. She sort of single-handedly invented primatology, or going out and studying primates in the wild in the 1960s. And this was one of her first books that really caught on and got famous. And so I remember getting the book when I was about 8 years old, and that just kind of launched me off into my interests. So she's really been my big inspiration.
She's been one of the biggest influences on you, really?
Pretty much.
Okay. The next one will be who/what inspires you to follow your dream, and I'm guessing that could be Jane Goodall, unless you have something else that did. It doesn't have to be a who, it could be a what, if something added to that aspect.
You know, it would probably, a lot of it goes back to Jane Goodall, but since Jane Goodall really started the field in the 1960s, there have been a lot of primatologists who sort of followed in her footsteps. And the discipline is young enough, you know, we're only going back about 50 years now. The discipline's young enough that a lot of Jane Goodall students and people that came after her is still alive. And Jane Goodall's still alive, actually. And so these are people that I actually meet in conferences and I get to talk to and have real-life conversations with, unlike people in a lot of other professions and disciplines where their sort of founders go back hundreds of years. All of my heroes and all of my inspirations are still alive, and I can email them and talk with them and chat with them. So it's really that kind of just sort of current dynamic. You can interact with these people that really keep me inspired on a daily basis.
Is there was there a change in mind state when meeting these people, from when you started thinking like, oh, I want to do this, and then once you had these meetings with these people who have these same drives as you, did it change your outlook on like, oh, maybe I want to do this alley of this or this avenue of this?
You know, I don't think anything really changed. I think what happened is that I finally, I feel, I guess this happens in a lot of disciplines, but I feel like I found my people. You know, it's kind of isolating and a little bit different when you grow up and this is what you want to do. You want to go out into the jungles or into the field or the bush and watch monkeys. And really no one else wants to do that. They want to be an athlete or a cowboy or something like that. But it was always kind of a little bit isolating for me. And so finally meeting these people, going to conferences, meeting people who have the same interests, and there aren't that many of us, you know, 100 or so in the world, really kind of made the difference for me. And it's sort of, when I first started meeting these people in grad school, I guess, when I was in grad school, it really sort of just formalized the path for me and made me understand that this really is something that I can do and move forward with my life.
That's great. That's great. So this is a kind of a different path question. How would you consider yourself? How old would you consider yourself if you didn't know how old you were?
Amazing question. Sometimes about 15, and sometimes about 25, I think. So depending on the situation, depending on the context, somewhere between 15 and 25.
Are those what people have told you, or that's what you just think?
No, it's just, it really is. It really is how I feel. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm just starting out, and there's the whole world ahead of me, and that's really when I feel like I'm 15, just kind of getting started. 25. When I was 25, a lot of the reality set in, and a lot of the challenges and everything else, a lot of the crap of what I want to do with my life just kind of finally hit me. So that comes a lot still. So that's where the 25 comes in.
Okay, and you're saying like the 15-year-old because it's like the more explore kind of thing.
The 15-year-old is the optimistic,
Yeah.
can't wait to get started guy.
Right. That's great. From your perspective, what is the one thing you'd want to change about the world?
About the world? I'd get rid of cell phones.
Oh, that's a great one. I really like that.
Or more specifically, I'd get rid of smartphones. I keep the cell phones very simple, basic, like the ones that you give to little tiny kids. And I'd go back to a time when people actually communicated with each other face to face, and I think technology sometimes has a way of making us go backwards instead of forwards.
I couldn't agree more with the answer. I don't like where this technology is taking us, but that's just me. So the last one we're going to leave off with is, what's one thing you have not done that you really want to do?
I want to do a lot more traveling to places that don't have to do with my professional interests. I've been to all kinds of remote places all over Africa, and I've traveled a lot to conferences and places professionally, and it sort of kept me from doing some things that I just wanted to do personally. I've always wanted to go to Australia. I've always wanted to go see the ruins in Greece and Rome, and I've never actually done any of that stuff. So that's on my bucket list in the next few years.
What's the one place you think of that you'd want to go first? Like
Rome. I am going to Rome this year.
I agree.
It's on my list.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
That's gonna be great.
It's on my list.
That's gonna be great. And like no holds barred. You're not gonna be in your your element, your stuff. You're just gonna be like, I don't have to worry about work, this
I'm just
profession,
going.
this.
Yeah, the cell phone staying at home, disconnecting,
great.
no email. I'm just going to go with a couple tour books and guidebooks and go see the city.
That's awesome. Who are you going with?
I think I'm going by myself. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I haven't really decided. I just know I want to go.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, thank you for taking this interview up with us, and we appreciate everything.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks.